Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Tim. Tim is from Phoenix in Arizona in the USA. So let's see what Tim has to say. Enjoy the interview. Hello.
Hello.
Hello Tim, how are you?
Good. How's it going?
I'm very well, thank you so much. Thanks for taking the time today to do the interview.
Of course. I'm interested to see what it entails. So
I like your this tree behind you. What they say, don't forget your roots.
Don't forget your roots. Yeah.
I like that. It's amazing. Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, Tim. So just before we start the game, just tell me where you're from.
So I live now in Phoenix, Arizona. Actually, though, I was born in New York, Staten Island, New York. I grew up in Keensburg, New Jersey, and then I moved to Iowa a couple of years ago, Cedar Rapids, for a year, and now I'm in Phoenix.
Oh, wow. You've been traveling around.
Yep, so that's why don't forget your roots.
Amazing. And why Phoenix, Arizona? Why Phoenix? Any reason?
So I actually I left New Jersey initially because I signed up for like AmeriCorps, which a lot of people aren't super familiar with. It's basically like the sister organization of the Peace Corps. So instead of like leaving the United States to do service work in other countries, you do some service work on a national level within the United States. So that brought me to Iowa for a year to combat the opioid epidemic, substance use disorder, and mental health conditions. And then that was a year contract I did there. And then I signed up to combat, all of that even further here in Arizona. So.
Wow, that's amazing. Very interesting. And how long have you been living there for?
Now I've been here for, like 2.5 years or so, going on 3 years.
Okay. And so far, what's the best part of living there, in your opinion?
It's been tough because of the coronavirus and stuff. Haven't been able to do a lot, but the hiking is amazing. With the mountains and all that, it's absolutely phenomenal. It's really pretty in the day, even at night. Like when the sun's coming up, going down, and when you're hiking during that time, it's just like a phenomenal view. So, yeah.
And all your family are back in New York State.
Pretty much. I have a cousin out here, but she lives a couple hours away, probably like 4 hours away, 3.5 hours away, who I only met a few years back at a family reunion, the first one we ever had. And then most of my family, is back in New York, New Jersey. My parents are back and forth now. They retired between Florida and New Jersey. So
they still traveling around.
Yeah. And my sister's in Nashville, so we're all over the place.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. Very interesting. And what do you do for living now?
Right now, I'm actually unemployed because, when I had finished AmeriCorps, I was starting my own business, and I had started building a client base. And then I was also a suicide interventionist for a program called Safe Talk, which is suicide alertness for everyone. I would do trainings for them for company Living Works. And then I was also doing, it was called Project Rewind for this organization called Not My Kid. So it's like not my kid, because it has to do with substance use. It's an early intervention for kids, that were caught using substances, and that you try to intervene and let them know like the harmful effects, but empower them to make their own decisions. So I facilitated that group, but all of it kind of ended at once with the coronavirus. And then I, have been deciding really like, should I stay here in Arizona? Should I not? I just did decide that. I got an interview yesterday, and I believe I got the job for a substance use disorder specialist position. So,
fingers crossed.
I know.
Let me know afterwards if you got, okay? I'm curious now, okay? Let me know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, Tim. So welcome to William and the Magic Box. Are you ready to? Beautiful journey through your memories in life and your point of views.
Cool. Cool.
Very, very good. I'm just gonna play a song now, just for us to move a little bit before the first question, okay? And if there is a question you don't have an answer for, you don't want to answer, always can change to another one, okay? It's very friendly and chilled, okay? No pressure.
Alrighty.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Yes, you can join me in dancing. I like it.
I'm not the greatest, but...
Okay, Tim, let's go for the first question. The first question is, what does money mean to you?
Money to me, I mean, obviously we need it to live, which kind of like really sucks if you ask me. I like, you know, I was saying I did AmeriCorps work, which was all actually voluntary work, and it was the most like satisfying work that I've ever done. So to me, like it's not about the payment, it's not about the money just in general. As long as I have enough to live and get by comfortably, like I'm okay with that. If someone was going to hand me $1 million, would I say no? Absolutely not. But to me, I think it you know, it brings on greed and all these bad character defects of people that really just they're ugly. So it's not a huge thing for me.
I see. And in your opinion, do you believe that money can bring happiness?
Unfortunately, like in this society that we live in today, I think so. And I only say that because, you know, I've been in a place where like, you know, you have none. I've been in a place where you have some. And it's like, if you don't have it in today's society, if you can't pay rent, if you can't put food on your table, you know, it becomes very difficult to live. And I think that really has an effect on us, you know, mentally and our emotions. And that's, I could get further into that about why that is, but it's unfortunate that there is a connection there, I think. But
I see.
Doesn't mean also that if you have a bunch that you will be happy either.
No, that's true. That's true. Sometimes you can see someone like, you know what I mean, like a millionaire, full of money, but behind the scenes, you don't know what's going on in their minds or in their personal lives as well, you know? Of course. Exactly. Of course, exactly. Money can, I think money can bring a lot of, let's say, opportunities or, you know, for you to do a lot of things that you just can do if you have money, you know what I mean? Yes, but exactly. At the end of the day, it's not everything, you know? Some people can be so happy with their lives without money, you know? So it's not the main thing of our lives, you know? That's
exactly.
for sure. It's not,
exactly. You just have to meet like your basic needs, essentially. And once those are met, then I think it's based off of other things, who you surround yourself with and family and whatnot. So yeah.
Very good. Second question, Tim, let's do it. Great. Okay, next question for you is, if you were in a circus, which character would you like to be and why?
I've been told that I'm the ringleader of the craziness that happens in my life, the circus that is my life. So I'll take that one. No, but if I had the choice, I would probably be, I think the trapeze, like a trapeze member. But I don't know why, because I'm afraid of heights. So, but the moves they do are really cool. And if I was able to do something like that, like, you know, you just kind of saw me dance a little and I don't have the moves like that. So I guess something like that, yeah.
I think the challenge, the journey as an adventure, what brings you, you know what I mean, gets your attention. I'm the same as well, actually. When I go to the circus and I see those trapeze, I go like, oh my God, I start getting sweat hands as well because I get so nervous. But at the same time, it's fascinating to see them doing their moves, you know what I mean, their whole choreography. I think it's fascinating.
I know, but you see them when they don't have the net underneath them sometimes. Then I'm like, oh my God, I can't even watch.
I know those ones are just like, oh my God, I cannot even look properly. I'm so tense. Again, I think I'm the most tense person in the whole circus because it's hard. It's difficult. It's difficult. Oh my God. Next question. Let's do it. Okay. I'm Brazilian, you know, Brazilian people, and they you're already born dancing.
Yeah, I have none of that.
Okay, Tim, so just before the next question, as you know, today is a memorable day for the whole world. You know, 20 years ago, we had 9/11 happening. So tell me a little bit, where were you at the time? What's your memory at the time when it happened?
Yeah, so actually the town that I grew up in New Jersey, there was a beach that right across the way you could actually see New York City. So I was in seventh grade. I was 12 years old. And I remember just like, a bunch of us getting back to our homeroom teacher's class, like where it started in homeroom, and then they had a project class, it was called. And that was early on in the morning. And she told us like, 2 planes crashed into the World Trade Center. And we were like, what, huh? Because all of us kind of knew it as like being young and stuff, like as like the Twin Towers, and we didn't know it as the World Trade Center. But once she said that, then we were all like, oh my God. And it was a bizarre day, because we were so close to New York City, and like every probably 5 minutes or so, if not less than that, someone from the school was getting called out and taken out for early dismissal, because parents were coming to pick up their kids and or family members, because as us being so close, like a lot of our family members were there that worked there in New York City or at those buildings as part of the FDNY or NYPD. So it was a wild kind of day, but they really didn't want us watching the news or anything like that. But my mom finally came and took me out of school after the Twin Towers, had gone down, and we went over to the beach. And all you could see was the smoke coming up from where they were. And those were the primary things that you would see down at the beach for us. And just smoke going across the sky. You can smell it for weeks after that, to be honest. It was just a memory that unfortunately, like, we've had to face, right? But that I'll never forget, because, my dad lost, his best friends and all of that. And we used to do a memorial jam. I play saxophone. My dad's in a band with my mom. But so we would do that in memory of him. So it's really impactful. But I won't forget, as awful as the event was, how strong like it felt, just being a part of the country, not even just someone that was right outside New York City, but like, and of the world. You could feel it, just like the cohesiveness. So, so I mean, that was very powerful for me.
Yes, I remember as well. At the time, I was in Brazil at the time, and actually, where I come from in Brazil, my state is the same time as New York time zone. So we're in the same time. And I remember at the time I was leaving I was 19 at the time. I was 18. I was 18 years old, and I was leaving. I was in the capital of my state. And I was living with 2 flatmates. And I remember at the time I was doing part-time, I was working McDonald's as well. And I remember, so I was working until late night. And I remember I had like a lay-in like until a bit later. And my friends, when the first plane crashed in the tower, I was in my bedroom and I was already awake, but kind of just dozing off in bed. And she came and said, William, there's something happening in New York now. There's a bit strange, nobody knows what's happening. And I was like, oh, I'm sure enough, because I think no one would expect a huge, a huge event that was happening. Oh, yeah. And right. I was like, oh no, maybe this is an accident or something. And she kind of go back again to the living room. And after she came again, like crazy, said, William, no, you must come here. It's something really serious. And I remember watching the news at the time, and I was like, wow, I think the whole world, the eyes was all, like connect there. Everyone was, because nobody knew it at the time. Everything was happening. Nobody knew exactly what was happening.
Right, exactly. So, I don't think, like you said, anyone was prepared. America definitely wasn't prepared for it, and neither was its citizens, and the entire world though. But so then you look at it now, 20 years later, where we're at, and kind of what's going on, and it's actually shocking to me, because I'm seeing posts just even yesterday up to like of kids who probably weren't even alive at the time that this happened, but that are fearful today that there's going to be another attack on America. So I think everyone's eyes are kind of like open and wide, but it's like we still have this tenseness of like, God, it's the 20-year anniversary, and like, are we prepared if something does happen, particularly just with what's been going on in the world. So
yeah. And today, this morning, I was editing some videos, interviews here this morning, and I was thinking about that. And suddenly, this friend of mine who called me like 20 years ago, and she sent me a message. I was editing video, and I was about to tell her, "Oh, do you remember 20 years ago the situation?" And she exactly sent me a text saying, "Oh," she sent me a picture of the Twin Towers. So like, we remember 20 years ago. I can't believe. And I was like, "Oh my God!" I was about to test you to say the same thing as well. And I called her FaceTime, and we were just talking about as well. Like, oh my God, it's been 20 years already. The time just flies. My God. But
it's unbelievable. Yeah, it's unbelievable. But that's that cohesiveness that I kind of was talking about, like where you have the same thought as your friend, and it's on like a kind of spiritual-ish level.
Yes,
that bond. So.
Yes, I think even for like, I even got goosebumps now talking about. But it's funny. It's funny. It's interesting because I remember, like, I mean, somehow put the word together. Do you know what I mean? Somehow the event is a very sad, of course. My God, it was a tragic a moment, but at the same time as well, put the words all together. You know what I mean? Somehow, and today as well, I'm sure the whole world are talking about that. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's an event like in history. I think it's gonna be always. I think that it changed the whole world after that. You know, there are planes now. All you know, when you go travel, there are so many things that you need to organize. It prohibited this and that. So I think it's an event to you know what I mean. It's always gonna be in our minds for sure. I think every year when you talk about 9/11, already, you know what I mean. It comes already automatically in your head when you think about the date itself.
Yeah. And it's thank you for bringing that up, to be honest. Like, I really do thank you, because, you know, there's been the last, you know, couple months and whatnot, as this has been coming up, is like a lot of people are forgetting, in a sense, or there's the impression that people are forgetting. And in America, the like, you know, the pride in being from here right now is a little bit altered in certain areas with certain people. And like, there's that question in our minds of like, is it really never forget anymore? Like I saw a meme the other day that was like, it said something like never forget, and it had 9/11 on the TV, and it was like Uncle Sam with his like hand on his head, like crying, and that we've forgotten, you know. But that's I thank you for that, because that gives me the chills too even more. But that shows me like the world is not forgotten.
No.
It's something nobody can forget, you know?
Absolutely. Anyway, let's go for the second question. Sorry, for the third question. Let's do it.
Okay. All right.
Okay, Tim. I think this one's going to be very easy for you. Do you have any nicknames?
Tim.
I knew it.
Pretty easy.
So
that's funny though, because I just had like 3 people, like 2 friends and my sister, write me like this meme as well, and it said something like, why does everybody call Timothy Tim instead of like Moth, like with the MOTH in there? I'm like, I don't know, like, how do you pronounce that? Moth or like Moth, like Timothy? Or so I was like, I don't know, call me whatever you want, I don't really care, just don't call me bad words.
So people always call you Tim, always?
Tim, yeah. And it's interesting too, because my middle name is James, so like nobody ever called me TJ, you know, where they probably could have, but at this point in my life, it's a little too late.
I had a partner in the past, English, and his name was Timothy as well. And sometimes when I met him, I was like, "Oh, hi, Timothy," and he was like, "Oh, William, just call me Tim. I think it sounds bad. Everyone just call me Tim." I said, "Okay." So from that day, it's just Tim.
It's too long, you know, like Timothy, you know. And I was gonna say it if you hadn't been typing it like online or whatever before this. I was like, I'll just let them know in person, but I kind of didn't either.
No, when I approached you online, of course I called Timothy, but before I started when I started the interview, I was like, I'm sure I can be confident to call him Tim straight away, because I'm sure nobody called him Timothy. But I was testing the first time, I put Timothy just to be, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not sure, I wasn't sure. Maybe you reply, actually my name is not Tim, my name is Timothy. I was like, oops, okay, sorry.
You know, sometimes get that wrong with people. Like, you get that one person that's like, like, all right.
Let's make sure. Let's go for another question. Let's go.
Okay.
Right, let's get another question for you. What did you say?
I said I started dancing like with the music when it stopped.
Sorry.
No, it's cool.
Right. Next question is, what has been the lowest point of your life?
So many of them. I live with substance use disorder myself. So I'm a person that lives with that. And I also am a person that lives with multiple mental health conditions. That it took me a long time to really get a grip on that. And when I say a long time, I mean like by the time I learned that it started with depression, when I was young, 12 years old-ish, 11, 12. By the time I had actually found medication that worked for me and whatnot, I was 28 years old. So it was a really long time. But there was a lot of lows in there, but I think the lowest of the low, should I go there? Should I get that deep?
I mean, if you are comfortable talking about, if you don't have any problem to sharing that, you know what I mean? It's up to you. Or if you want to avoid, it's up to you.
I don't mind. I didn't want to ruin the vibe. No, but so I was also a heroin addict. I was an everything addict, but heroin really brought me to my knees. And there was a point between that and being suicidal, which these are why I do the work that I do nowadays, to give back. But I had overdosed on multiple different things, and I was on life support for 10 days. And I remember waking up and I was intubated. I had a tube down my throat, and I just remember seeing like my mom and dad there for a moment, because you wake up, there's something in your throat. I couldn't breathe. And I just remember seeing how upset they looked, and they put me back under, but that's still in my mind. And that's kind of when I turned things around-ish. Like that was the starting point of turning things really around. So I would say, but that was probably the lowest part. I do also have this philosophy that like, there's no such thing as like a rock bottom, because when you think that way, when you have a frame of thinking that goes that way, you'll always set yourself up really for failure, because you'll be like, oh, it can't get much worse than that. And it does. So really it's like just kind of trying to be better every day, instead of like meeting that, where was my worst off, kind of point. But that was definitely it for me so far, at least. Keep fingers crossed.
Yeah. No, thanks so much. Thanks for sharing that personal event. Thank you very much, Tim. I think as you can talk about, I think the fact that you can talk about that, you can share that, I think is already, you know what I mean, you already achieved like the most you could, because people, when they are going through that, sometimes they don't want to talk about because they feel ashamed, or they feel insecure, or they feel, you know what I mean, blamed, so many reasons. So I think that's the fact you can share that. I think that's it's already, and imagine how many people like watching this interview in the future, how many they're gonna connect with you and go like, you know what? If he can talk about, why I cannot talk about as well? I think it's the release of freedom, you know what I mean? You release the thing from you. I think when you talk about, when you discuss it. So yes, yeah, why not? Thanks so much. Thanks for being sweet.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. Next question.
Okay.
Let's do it. Okay, team, let's go for the next question. Next question is, what gives you butterflies?
Oh, I think like, to be honest, like it's like helping other people, really. I think it's being altruistic, because, it takes a lot to satisfy me. But that's really, I think it's like, in order to like build our self-esteem too, you have to do esteemable acts. And like, and what I mean by that is like, when you do something for somebody else, and for me, I'll speak on my own behalf, right? Is like, when I do something for somebody else, that's when I feel those butterflies and that goodness, in my heart. And like, that's really what keeps me going and all of that kind of stuff. I'm not a simpleton, unfortunately, but it's what keeps us going. We have to help each other, right? So.
Absolutely. And in the end of the day, you're not doing to themselves, you're doing to yourself in the end of the day. I think when you do a kindness gesture or just help someone else, in the end of the day, you just help yourself, you look yourself, you know what I mean? Yep. So I think that's the whole point.
Absolutely.
Great. Next question. Right. Before the next question, and what's the most challenging part of living in Phoenix so far? You find it?
Living in Phoenix. I was gonna say, by the way, I like your box.
It's old now. You know what? Next month I'm gonna turn 1 year. And look, it's a bit old now. I need to change it.
It didn't look like that. When you move it quickly, it's fine. So don't even worry about it.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? I want to keep forever this one because that's when I started 1 year ago the show. So I need to change. I'm gonna get another one like another call. I don't know. I need to look it up. So thank you.
Cool. Yeah, you got it. So the most challenging part I think is I've never had a partner before. I've never dated anyone realistically, like with the term, right?
Right.
So really, like, the dating scene here is very challenging for many different reasons. But it's hard. It's tough. Some people can be very cruel. Other people, like I've noticed right now with the coronavirus and stuff too, it's like a little difficult to do. But now that things are getting better, like we'll see, I guess. But that's always been a challenge, really, for me anywhere I live. But really, they're pretty ruthless here. I hate to call out Phoenix, but.
Yeah, I think the word the word is coming back to normal again. So I think more things gonna come for sure.
Yeah, we'll see.
Right. Next question for you is, what do you think are the best traits for a person to have?
Best traits, definitely like to be genuine and honest, truthful. I think to be loyal, I think is a really big one for me. Just if someone I don't feel someone's very loyal, like they kind of like, I know they'll just like talk to me because they need something and then they'll go back and talk some ish. I kind of detect that pretty quickly, but so those, and then just like to be kind, right? I think that's like a hard trait to come by these days with a lot of people. So really just seeing that and feeling that from someone, that's one of the better ones. So.
Very good, very good. Next question. Let's do it. Okay, Tim, next question for you is, good one. Who are you most thankful for and why?
Wow, that's a hard one. That's really hard. And I don't mean that in the sense of like, I can't think of someone. I don't want to just name one person. I think like at this point in my life, like anyone that I have, like I don't have a lot of people here in Phoenix, to be honest, because of the conditions and stuff. But like anyone that has come into my life and that it still remains, I'm thankful for it, because I think like we have something to give to everybody, and that's not to say either that like the people that are no longer in my life were like insignificant. They weren't, they were very significant, and everybody plays a part and teaches somebody a lesson throughout their lives. So that's a tough one, but I think what got me here, right here into this place where I'm at, and transitioning then into the field that I got into, was definitely, I'll have to say, like my supervisor at my last organization that I was with in Iowa, Area Substance Abuse Council. Her name's Erin, and also the deputy director there, Melissa. They were phenomenal, incredible, huge role models, very caring people, and really taught me a lot professionally that I hadn't been exposed to yet, that really transformed me on that level. So very thankful for them.
Hey, they're gonna be very happy. They're gonna be very happy to see that, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh,
makes me cry.
No, understand what I mean. I think people that come to our lives in different periods of our lives, they meant to be there for some reason, to give a hand, to lift it up. You know what I mean? So I understand. Sometimes it's difficult for you to pick one person, because through our lives there are so many special people that cross our path, and leave their signature. You know what I mean? In our life. So yeah, I understand.
Yeah. and it's hard not to say like my parents, you know, because they're very influential on me, and they've done so much.
course.
They gave me life, you know what I mean?
Of course.
And
Absolutely.
they've supported me through everything too. So like, obviously, I'm super thankful for that as well. But
Good.
had to throw that one in.
You want to be clear with everyone. You want to be in peace
Yeah.
with everyone.
Right.
Next question. Next question for you is, who is a celebrity that you admire and why?
I feel like there's been so much that's gone on the last like year and a half now that like people I respected, like I no longer respect, and then like some I don't. I'm gonna say it. I don't care, because I speak, you know, wholeheartedly, you know, anytime on whether it's on Facebook or in person, whatever. I would say Donald Trump, to be honest.
Okay.
And that's because he shows he's not my number one probably like person to look up to when it comes to like respect on certain people. But the amount of like resiliency that he has, like being able to like take on like the media like the way that he did was incredible. For what he was given with so many people battling him throughout his time as the president, I think that really you know, was kind of like, it was like incredible, to be honest. Like, it's because he was set up for failure before he had even come into office, and there's so many things that he did do that were good that were overshadowed by our very biased media these days. But that's someone like, as far as like having that strong like sense and like that solid grounding, that's someone I look up to, and I support that. So
Sure. I think
looking like that.
No, understand your point. I think, and what I like the most about this show here, this platform that you know I've been working with the Matchbox, is because people there, you know what I mean. They are not right or wrong answer. They are, you know what I mean. You're just express your point of view. You know what I mean. I think there are people out there, and you know, I know, of course, he's let's say one of the most hated person in the whole world, but. You know what I mean? I'm sure he got his other side as well, as everybody else. All of us, we have our, you know what I mean, our negative and positive as well. Of course, some of them, when they have power or when they are in the media, of course, it's more visible. They expose, they are under pressure. I understand that as well. But at the same time as well, you know, I was, funny enough, I was watching, I think it was a documentary about his life early when he started out in New York, you know what I mean, his business career and everything. And I was like, oh, I didn't know that. It was, you know, I was impressed with like how he took chances, the risk he took it, you know what I mean, his family and everything. And at the end of the day, I think, you know what I mean, there are so many people out there that the life is about taking risks. And the life is about you know what I mean, stand up to yourself and, you know what I mean, try things in life. And he, you know, he got, my God, he wouldn't be where he is right now if he didn't have this, you know what I mean, less guts to, you know what I mean, to embrace the risk he had and all the things. So, yeah, I think...
Exactly. And he's a smart man, you know, and it's like, some people say like he didn't act like you know, president like, and it's like, to be honest, in my opinion, it's like if I have to have someone that doesn't act president like but is able to keep the country going and keep it afloat and make it better, which I believe he wants, you know, and you could tell he wants things to be better. Like if I could have that versus just someone that's like incompetent but like kind of nice to, you know, on the outside nice, let's not name names, but like I prefer that, you know. And it's just like things as things unfold now that he's no longer president, and like stories come out of things that were not true and he's exonerated for these things, it kind of is like I don't have to be like haha to these people, you know, like I don't try to, at least, but it's like, come on now, like, so it makes me feel like I've made right decisions along the way. So
no, absolutely. I think he wouldn't get in the power if, you know what I mean, if people didn't put him there, you know what I mean. He wouldn't, just because he's powerful, whatever he is, but he wouldn't get, you know what I mean, there if the people around supported him, the whole country mostly, you know what I mean. So I think it's interesting you saying that, because I was talking to a friend of mine I think it was 2 years ago about him, and we were just talking, and I told him, I said, look, there's a funny thing about Donald Trump. Because he was tweeting all the time, and he was tweeting.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, I never thought a president of USA be on the internet tweeting like his point of views, or you know what I mean, and putting out his opinion, which is brave as well. Because imagine you are the most powerful man in the world, and for you to go there in a platform online, and you know what I mean, and post something like a phrase without not caring what people gonna do afterwards. I was like, yeah, okay, that's something very brave to do, and it's something that you're not expecting. You know what I mean? To see a president of America on Twitter, like doing something. So anyway.
Well, you got to remember too, really fast, that like he was a celebrity before he was the president, right?
Yes.
So
yes.
Which normally I would be like, to think on it in the past of when I was younger, to be like, oh, like a celebrity become a president? No way, you know. But it's like, if you look back to like the 90s with Bill Clinton, when they brought him out on a late night show with the sunglasses on and playing the saxophone, they started making president celebrities. I mean, even before that, Reagan was, you know, a celebrity, but it's like that, it's nothing new. So people, it tried to get framed like that too, and it's just, you know. But he realistically he was, so that's why he was already on Twitter and all of that. So I mean, people are entitled to their own opinions, right? It's just hard also being in the LGBT community and like and having that stance, you know, or that opinion on certain things. So that's been very difficult.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, Tim, let's get another question for you. Let's do it.
All right.
Okay, Tim, next question for you is, who in your family you would trade place with and why? Let's say for 24 hours.
Okay, so let's say, do they have, well, no, I'll just answer it, whatever. I would trade with my Uncle Jim, my godfather, because maybe if I saw him in passing, I guess he passed away in the 90s, the early 90s. And I think my dad and his sister, my godmother, would love to see him. So if he was here, they'd be able to see him. And I lost some people pretty recently too that were very important in my life, and I'd be able to go where they are and chat with them for a little bit. So I think that's what I do.
Oh, I like your reason why you trade with him. I like that. I love it. Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah. Very good. That's very good. Let's do it. Okay, Tim, before the next question, and you're sharing with us this challenge past in your life that you had it. When you look back, what was the most positive thing you took out of it when you look back?
Definitely, I mean, just in general, that like I'm able to take that experience just in general, I think, and bring it forward and pay it forward to you know, other people, because like there are moments like where I stop in my tracks and I'm like, oh my God, you know, like I shouldn't be here, right? On top of the one overdose I was talking about, like there's been several others, and there's a certain drugs, Narcan, for example, I did trainings for other people that it brings back people from an opioid overdose, and that brought me back several times. And it's like, without that, I wouldn't have been able to be here and do that. So like, it's just those kind of experiences versus like some kind of maybe lesson I learned that I think just are more important for me, you know, that I'm able to give to somebody else, because somebody gave their wisdom to me as well that I'm also able to take forward. So just thankful for all that.
Absolutely, and sometimes you can you can comfort the other people because you've been in their place before, and you know how it feels, how it looks like, you know what I mean, how it looks like, so you know how things are, and for you, it's easier to understand and support them in a way that maybe someone else, you know what I mean, of course, they would be able as well, but just the fact that you've been there, it's easier for you to be in their shoes as well, and how to comfort them in a better way, I believe.
Yeah. And I hate to say too, it's like, say it in this manner, but like sometimes, so for example, too, being like a person that was trying to commit suicide and whatnot, or die by suicide, they call it now, is like, I still like, I'm a person that lives with chronic thoughts of that, you know, and it's just always there. It probably always will be, but it's like, there's things that I took from that now too. My best friend had just committed suicide, died by suicide back in August 2020. And after doing all the work that I've been doing, you know, and it's like I got maybe a little complacent and I didn't pay attention to him, but maybe that's, I don't know, but that was his decision, right? But it's I've now taken from that the fact that I was in the shoes, I was always on that side of the person that had to go to the hospital, that made the attempt and all of that. And fortunately, like I'm here living, but now, like, having had that happen, I am able to, you know, like, sorry, look at it on the other side now, in place of instead of just being that person. Now I'm able to see, like, what it's the harm that it did to other people too, but also like the hurtfulness that comes with it, which shifted my perspective on sorry.
It's okay. I understand. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah, like my frame of mind, my frame of thinking, I wouldn't have gotten that lesson, I guess, from it myself. But it's at someone else's expense, so it sucks. But yeah.
Understand. Thanks for sharing that. You're very sweet.
Okay.
Very sweet.
Yeah.
Another question, Tim. Let's do it.
All right.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Next question is: if you could have been in a moment, event in history, which one that would be and why?
There's a couple of them that I think I'd probably go back to like the American Revolution, I guess. There's if you actually like, so if you listen to like the Star Spangled Banner, like the words, if you look at the lyrics and actually listen to them, it's all about, you know, like how part of it was like, you know, one of the colonies was getting attacked, but at the end of it, you know, where they thought it was just things were going to be in shreds and blah blah blah, like the American flag was still like standing and supposedly like, right, that these men preserved that and made that still there. So I think like the amount of strength people had at that time and like you know, courage and all of that, I would want to live through. Sometimes I feel like that these days, but I know it's there, but it's harder to come by. But yeah, I think during that time, and not because I'd want to see like death and stuff like that by any means, but just like the you know, the bravery that was behind it. It would be interesting to be around.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah.
Ready for another question?
I'm ready.
Let's do it. Okay, team. Next question for you is:
Okay.
how would you describe a perfect friendship?
Okay. Me. No. Just kidding.
Totally, team from Arizona, the perfect friend.
Just clone me for everybody, and everyone will be right. No. So I just think going back to even that loyaltiness, like someone being loyal, someone that doesn't like to like gossip, you know, like that, you know, that if you say something to them, they'll keep it, you know, to themselves, right? And I think like you know, listening is like a super important piece of communication that a lot of people forget. It's very important, but someone that actively listens to you, that's not sitting there like on their phone, like looking down at the screen while you're talking to them, that drives me nuts. It's like proven, like I know scientifically, like, and psychologically, like we know for a fact people can't pay attention while they're doing that. Like, and multitasking doesn't really work. But like, so I'm like, I know you're not listening to me. Like, what the heck? But someone that just, you know, really, truly, genuinely like listens and is loyal and makes it a two-way street, right? So I think that's important.
Very good. It's a good point, because nowadays we are so connected to technology. It's everything so fast right now that sometimes when somebody gives you attention to you, it's like a gift. It's like, oh my God, they give me attention now. We are talking. We are doing eye contact with me. We are spend some time together. I think that sometimes
Exactly.
when you have to go, like, you get impressed, you know what I mean? You get like, oh my God, I'm having some attention now.
Yeah. You listen to me?
You listen to, oh my God, what a honor.
Yeah.
Okay, team, I have 3 questions left for you, okay? Let's do it.
Okay.
Right. Before the next question, I believe you are gay, yeah?
Yes, I am. I'm very gay.
Did you always have the support of your family being gay?
Have I always been?
Have the support of your family?
Support. Oh, yeah. I didn't come out till like officially to my family till I was like 24 years old. But that's because also my uncle, my godfather, he had died from AIDS back in the 90s. So I always felt that it was like something touchy, you know, to the family and whatnot. And it's like it made it a little harder, but it also made me like things like less promiscuous, which is good. But so yeah, but once I had done that, I mean, it was in like my parents at first were like, yay, you know, like, because who wants that kind of hard life, those difficult things that you know, people from our community, my community rather. I don't know if are you LGBT? Sorry.
Yeah, yes, I'm gay as well. Yes, I'm very gay, like you.
Okay. So from our community, that who wants their child to face that, right? So, but otherwise, like, you know, in terms of it, like, my dad also is like he's from Brooklyn and he's very like tough guy-ish, you know, and like so it made it like more intimidating to come out. And he's actually the first one that I came out to out of them and my parents and my sister. Yeah. So, but beyond that now, like they are totally like, I never thought my dad would ever ask me like if I had gone on a date with a guy yet, or like if I was dating a guy. So it's yeah, my family's very supportive.
Very good. Good one. Right. Good question, this one. If you could sit down with yourself when you were 13 years old, what advice did you give to yourself at the time?
Okay. At that time, I think, so I like to say like, you know, to be the person, like that's really, I don't know.
Should I change the question? I can change the question.
No, it's a good one. It's like, so, because I'm more of like instead of like really saying things versus like doing things. So like, I guess that's kind of what I would tell myself at 13 years old, is because like, I didn't really live like that growing up, and it was always just like, I was invincible and I could do what I want and that was it. And it's like, you can't do that. And unfortunately, like, it's normal to live like that as a child, right? But it's better to you know, now be the person that I wished I, you know, had seen, and that role model that I'd seen when I was that age, right? To exemplify that. So that's kind of, I also do a lot of work with kids, or I have in the past, for that reason now, because, you know, sometimes, you know, kids don't have that. So I guess I would tell myself to start that at a younger age.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. 2 questions left, Tim.
All right.
Do it. Right. Before the next question, when you said you're from Staten Island, isn't it? Staten Island, New York. You already come from
Staten Island.
Staten Island. So when you close your eyes and you think about your hometown, what's the most beautiful memory you have from there when you close your eyes and you think about it?
Oh, goodness. So Staten Island, I probably shouldn't say this, but it's like the world's largest landfill. So like, I didn't live there very long, but I have family that's there. So I think about them, right?
Okay.
You know, so, like a lot of them have left now too, but I only lived there until I was about 6 years old. So growing up was really more of New Jersey.
Okay.
Can I answer for that one?
Yes, you can. Let's think about New Jersey. Let's change. New Jersey.
I grew up on a dead-end street, so I think of like, you know, there was a lot of kids and stuff, and I think about like, you know, Friday nights when our parents would like go like bowling, and like we would all play manhunt. You know, everyone would get together and do that, and how much fun that was, and where I like steered off away from that part, because I don't talk to a lot of them anymore. But those are good moments that I love to like reflect on, and that make me smile. So
Very good. Good one.
Yeah.
Sweet. Right. Next question is: if you met someone sad in the street, what would be your advice to this person?
sorry. Well, I would probably go up to them and ask them if they're okay, right? And ask them if, well, I'd probably sit down and ask them if it was okay if I sat with them for a while. If, you know, I didn't have to be somewhere in like 5 seconds. But, I mean, depending on even that, I probably would put that more importantly. That would be a priority to me, just because with the suicide work that I've done and all of that is like, you don't know what someone's going through. Suicide is important, like no matter what, if someone's laughing about it or just very serious about it, like, and has the means, you know? And sometimes all it takes is like someone acknowledging that person. And sometimes people don't want you to even talk to them. Some people want to talk a lot.
Yeah.
But really just kind of sitting close enough to them and just kind of saying like, do you mind if I sit here? I'm here if you need me. And say nothing even, you know? So that's probably what I've done that. So,
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think some people when they are sad, I think sometimes just need some company, or maybe just want to be listened, or sometimes they just need someone by their side. That's it. You know what I mean? Sometimes the little thing that what people they are sad for, they need to, you know? I understand.
That kind of goes with like the talking and listening thing, right? So it's like, sometimes we feel like when people are sad that we want to help them, right? So we want to say like, listen, I know the answer. This is what, you know, or like we just try to babble stuff off to say, you know, make them feel better. And it's like, sometimes people don't want that. You need to just like, let them take the lead in moments like that and see which direction they want to go with it. So that makes them feel better and good.
Absolutely. Tim, ready for the last question?
I'm ready. Last one?
Yeah.
Don't
worry, William the Magic Box Season 2, I'll invite you again, so you can go through another as well, for sure. Let's do it. Okay, Tim, let's go for the last question. Last question for you is, let's say someone come up to you and say, Tim, you need to remove forever from your phone, social media or YouTube. Which one would you choose and why?
Oh, geez. YouTube. I mean, both of them are difficult. I actually would have no problem getting rid of all of them right now. But YouTube for sure. And that is just due to like a lot of the censoring that's going on right now. Particularly like we have like right now in Arizona, we're having Maricopa County where I live. We were the first ones to start like the election audit from the presidential election. Just to kind of say like and see something's not right, you know, maybe like if there isn't, that's totally fine. But the fact that we've had such you know, resistance from the Maricopa County board here and our Secretary of State, it's not a good looking thing, you know. But now we have anytime that's mentioned kind of on YouTube, or I mean anything with the vaccinations too and stuff, but particularly that right now, it's just taken off and it's made to disappear. And that's a platform that a lot of people are on. And I think social media is doing that too, but YouTube is like super guilty of it right now. So plus now they have like Rumble, I guess. So which I'm not saying that in a bad way. It's a good thing. Like it's go to Rumble, right? But now never mind. I'm not going to go down that anymore. YouTube, bye-bye YouTube. That's it.
Okay, great. Okay, it's not the end yet. Okay, let's play now the word association game. I'm going to give away some words, and you just have one word that comes to your mind. Okay, quick thinking.
Okay.
Let's start with religion.
Growing. Oh shoot, not good. Bad.
Okay. Politics.
Important.
Life.
Beautiful.
Sex.
Promiscuity.
Okay. Family.
Genuine.
Money.
Unimportant.
Love.
Loneliness.
Okay. Fear.
The snakes.
Friendship.
Lacking.
Desire.
I don't know. Desire. Cupcakes.
Oh, I love cupcakes. Amazing. How about regrets?
None.
Success.
I don't know. Iowa.
Happiness.
Overrated.
Wish.
Dream.
And one word for Donald Trump.
Inspiring.
And the last one now, USA.
Pride.
Very good, very good. Okay, let's pretend now I'm going to meet your lovely dad for a cup of tea, and I'm going to ask your lovely dad, tell me the most beautiful thing about Tim, and tell me something that he still needs to improve on. What do you think he'll tell me?
He would say, well, you know, my son Tim is, you know, I'm terrible at impressions, sorry. But I think he would say just my ability to like give, you know, and that's definitely probably, I mean, he's told me that before, you know, so I know that one. But and then the improved part is, I think too that I get like a little, when it comes to certain things that I'm passionate about, sometimes I overdo it, or I can't contain myself on it. So like a little bit of like ugliness comes out, or like, you know, or a lot sometimes. So being able to just stay collected, I think.
And if I would ask the same question to your mom, would be the same answer?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We talk about that when we talk a lot.
Very good, very good. Okay, Tim, let's play now Tim and the Magic Box, and you can ask me a question, okay? Okay, Tim, you can ask me a question now.
Okay, my cat's like, sorry. So, all right, so if you had to, your skin had to turn whatever color the emotion that you were feeling, or you had to be covered in tattoos for everything that you did the day before, head to toe, which would you choose and why?
Right, okay, again, you put me in the spot again. I like the question, I love the question. Right, I think, oh my God, I love the question. If I would be covered in a color or a tattoo? Okay, I think I would go for the colors, I think. I think I would go for the colors for sure, yeah. I think tattoos would be, I don't know, I don't know, I think it would be difficult for me to deal with, but I think the colors is okay. I could be different colors all the time.
Would you be embarrassed, William, of what the tattoos would be? Well, I was going to say now, too, you're turning on that red color, so...
You see? The red is coming along, you see? You put me in the spots. Tim, did you have a good time, Tim?
I did, yeah, that was awesome. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. Thanks so much first for the time to take your time and for the interview, and also thank you so much for being so open and talk about, you know what I mean, your personal life, to share about, you know, things that your challenges in life as well. And as I've mentioned before, for sure, it's nice to hear, you know, and you are so transparent as well. You talk about things that I can see how much, you know what I mean, you like talking about, because you like to help people as well. And as I said before, I think people appreciate when the people are open and they talk about things in their life, because in the end of the day, I think people, they can connect with us when we are open, when we talk about things. Sometimes people, they feel afraid to talk about, you know, issues or anything in life, because sometimes they think they're alone. They, you know what I mean, they're gonna be ashamed, they're gonna feel ashamed, or they're gonna feel blamed, or people gonna point them. But I think when you see somebody talking about those, you know, things in life, just encourage people to talk about as well, and also to show them that they're not alone out there. They're all of us, you know, all of us, we go through a lot in our lives as well. And sometimes when you are down the road with, you know what I mean, we tend to think like, oh my God, I'm the only person going through that. And it's not. So many people around the globe are going through that situation as well, very similar, in exactly the same as well. So I think sometimes it's good to speak out as well and to sharing. And then, as you said before as well, when you share the things, it's like a freedom. You are releasing the things, you know what I mean? Sometimes you are connecting as well. So it's always nice and good to talk. Thanks so much for being genuine and kind and sharing that. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure. But before you go, would you like to share a positive message or a positive quote that inspires you in life?
So I put this one in my yearbook when I was in 12th grade, my senior year, and I've tried to live by it. But is Dr. Seuss, be who you are and say what you feel, because those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind.
There we go. There we go. It says a lot. It says everything.
Yeah.
Tim, enjoy your weekend. Thanks so much again for the interview, and we keep in touch, okay? We keep in touch.
Sure.
Okay?
Sounds good.
All the best. Take care.
Take care. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why you'd like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.